Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Weekly Crop. With me this week is fan favorite Mr. Richard Bacsa in our commercial sales department, and today we're going to talk about the mini color panel from Blackmagic design and how it may differ from the micro panel, and also why you may want one of these panels if you are getting into color grading and that type of thing. So what do people need to know first and foremost?
Well, thank you for the introduction, Dale. So let's give you the whole basics of it. So the mini panel itself consists of two parts. So this is the top area where all your shortcuts are, and the bottom part is essentially what the micro panel is. This system is fully integrated with DaVinci Resolve. 15.2 is the latest version. That's what we'll be using. We're actually using the free version of DaVinci Resolve. Very simply put, the unit itself is connected simply with a USB cable to Resolve, and it reads it, so we're able to do the full color correction using an external device versus using your keyboard and mouse.
Right. So number one reason why if someone starts, their role as a colorist, or they're just hobby colorist, whatever, they're using a computer, they're used to using a computer. What are they going to find when they move to a panel? How will their experience change?
Yeah, so when it comes to the actual panel itself, everything's laid out for you. As you can tell, there's your lift, your gamma, your gain, where on the computer side, you have to use your mouse to actually up the gain, the gamma, and the lift using your mouse. It's just a lot more tactile and easier to control using the knobs. And everything, as I mentioned, is laid out in front of you, so you don't have to jump between different menu systems, different levels of the menu, where with the panel, it's a lot faster, a lot easier
to grade.
Exactly.
And just one other question before we kind of go into the details of this product. My initial feeling is that, okay, well, if I'm going to buy this, it's only if I know that I'm going to become like a colorist. If I know that that's work I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be doing a lot of coloring work. And so, for the individual filmmaker who may be doing a lot of post-production, that makes a lot of sense if you're doing a lot of post. But I would imagine that this type of panel is also good for like a number of organizations, like even like YouTube channels and things like that, people who are just putting out a lot of content and need to have that content timeline move quick, you got to shoot something and have it out and colored, in like a day or two, right? And so my presumption is that's who this also serves, is people who just have to color fast.
Absolutely. So the main point behind it is it's efficiency.
Yeah.
So it allows, just because of the easy way you can read everything, you're able to color quite a bit faster than just using your mouse and keyboard.
Right.
Yes, of course, you can memorize your keyboard shortcuts, and there obviously will be people doing that.
Yeah.
This just allows you for a more tactile feel,
right.
Where on the computer side it's fully digital, where on the actual panel side you can feel everything.
Yeah.
So we're going to go through how to do a very basic color correction on this simple clip. One, we're going to do it on the computer, and then the other side, we're going to do it on the actual tactile feel panel itself. So let's start with the computer. So we see our waveform right here. This is currently set up as a version, the original, and then the corrected version. On the top right, where you can see our nodes, I usually work in different types of node depending on what kind of color correction I'm doing. But for simplicity's sake, we're just going to keep everything under the exact same roof.
Right.
So you want to bring your lift down, which are your shadows. You want to bring your gain up, which are your highlights. Because I'm not really worried about it, I can actually bring it up a little further, just to bring up the interior color. And I'm going to bring my gamma, which is my midtones, a little down, just to give it a little bit more saturation. I'm going to bring my saturation up a little bit to, let's say, 70%. So you can actually type it in, 70. And then now you can see that it's fairly well-corrected image.
And so now, that was doing it on the computer.
Absolutely.
Let's see the difference in terms of the speed and the efficiency of doing the same thing with the panel.
Yep. So once again, I just reset my color node. So I'm still looking at my scopes. So with my lift, I bring it down. My gain, I bring it up a little bit. My gamma, bring it down. And then I bring up my saturation, and we are ready.
Yeah. So that was what took you probably a minute, I'd say.
Let's call it, if you're fast working at it, let's call it 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Right? Versus 10 seconds. But when you have to work on many clips over and over again, that time just adds up.
Right. So like let's say that's a 1/3 efficiency.
Absolutely.
Right. Then you're looking at a 3-hour session will now only take you an hour. And then you multiply that over multiple days, things like that, and you're really starting to see the difference. And even really, like if it's a 3-hour session, for example, for these quick turnaround videos, now that you're doing it in an hour, that might actually mean that you could do multiple videos in a day. You might be able to spend an afternoon, correcting multiple videos where you just couldn't do that before. So it's about like saving time, and certainly if you've got employees that you're paying to correct stuff, and you realize you can, quadruple or triple your efficiencies, I think that's a really resounding reason to make that investment.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much for watching. That's it for this week's Weekly Crop. Thanks again to Richard for bringing in the panel and demonstrating it for us. If you want more information on the Resolve Mini Panel or the Micro Panel, head on over to vistek.ca for all the information about this great product, and give us a call, visit one of our stores. We'd be happy to talk to you and demonstrate the product for you and get you a chance to play with it even. That's it for this week. Thanks so much for watching. Take care and happy shooting.